Welcome everybody to secondary sessions. Let's go ahead and get this show started. We are waiting for some folks to come in, but it's all good because we're gonna get it started anyway. As you know, we got Quan on the panel. Quan always on time. I appreciate you there, brother.
No problem, bro. Good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Before we even get started,
Why you sound like Lou Rawls today, bro?
well, I was going to explain that. So before we get started, I had to take a day today because I've been having some throat things going on. Pause.
Gale swallows.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave it at that. But yeah, I've been having some throat things going on, so I'm gonna try my best not to use my voice as much today, and hopefully everybody else comes on in, so I won't have to talk as much today. So that's what's up with me. So that's why I'm talking like this. I'm not gonna talk any louder than this. So if I have to pull up close to the mic, then it is what it is. It'll be all right. All right, man. Quan, before we get it started, how you doing, brother?
Cool, bro. Just I think the spring semester, bro, it get hectic, man. Especially in high school, sector where it you preparing auditions, either UL, solo ensemble, concert reading, and then your mindset is also, Mardi Gras, preparation for next year, graduation. It gets arduous, but we here.
Yeah, I will tell you, I remember those high school years. So definitely. Have y'all had solo ensemble yet?
No, this year I have more. This year I'm doing festivals more than anything. Coming after COVID, I have a lot of beginners. Majority of my band is beginners, honestly, and really the only seniors that I have are the ones that auditioned early this year. But we're gonna go to some festivals around here and around the state of Texas and get adjudicated in that manner.
All right. Yeah, I think that's definitely a good idea, brother. Oh man. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get this thing started. Ain't no point in holding it, holding on. So first things first, welcome everybody to secondary session. Please make sure that you smash that like button as soon as you come in, and also please make sure you subscribe to the network. Oh man, while I'm on it, if you have not picked up your Talk That Talk merch yet, it is good merchandise, man. We got our gear in. I'm gonna give you yours at TMA. So yeah, but we got the gear in, and I love it. Everything looks great. So if you haven't picked it up yet, go ahead and I'll put the link inside of the chat, as well as your 10% discount on all items. Just use the code Real Talk. All right, let's go ahead and get to it. Why do I hear quads in the background?
Kids still practicing, my bad.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. They trying to get it. They trying to get it in, trying to get as good as they can. So I ain't mad at it. All right, let's go ahead and get started. First topic on the floor. Are we getting a fair wage for our work? Are we getting a fair wage for our work? I guess I'm gonna go with Quan first.
Of course, I'm going to say no. For all the things that we do, and many of us were doing the things, I won't say at a disadvantage, but to a degree of disadvantage. There are several band directors that teach more than one content. And I'm not just speaking about the music content, but I mean like more than one content. Where they may be certified in math, so they're teaching math at one point of the day. They teach music on another point of the day. Um, I mean, some of the things that we have to do many times just by yourself when uh, our counterparts may have the same size band, but literally may have a staff of 3 to 4 people. I won't say the school or district, excuse me, but when our student taught some years back in 2011, I was at a particular school, and this school literally had 12 people on staff. Per top. And for those that may question, 12 people is sometimes more than a collegiate level like staff, but they had 12 people. They literally had 7 to 8, battery techs, uh, 4 or 5 brass techs, and not including the 3 band directors that were full time staff. I mean, it's things like that that we run up against. So, are we getting our fair wage? No. And then, as I close, many of us are pay for professional development out of our own pockets. You know, yeah, we have these big conferences and conventions, but many of us pay for these master classes out of our own pockets, and I don't think that's fair either. So, nevertheless, I don't think it's fair wages for our work.
So when and I want to kind of add some more to this, not just specifically talking about band directors, just educators in general, right? Because when we really think about it, um, people everywhere, like educators everywhere, are all talking about the ways that they either do not get, and I know that it's different regionally, but even with that, it's still a lot of work for the educator, and they feel like they aren't getting a fair wage. Would you say that that would be, you know, all the things that you just said? Would you say that that would be similar across the board, or would it be just specifically for band directors?
Now, I would say it's like that across the board. I mean, like when you really think about the hours that it takes, truly, like when you're striving to master your craft, um, think about how many hours it is just for preparation. Think about how many hours it is that you have to arrive prior to school to ensure that you make copies, make sure that all your manipulatives are there, to adjust the lesson plan pending the accommodations of a student. That may just be one subject. Like I just said, for the students or the digital specialists now during COVID, excuse me, that are changing education as we see fit, because education will never be the same due to COVID and the virtual learning aspect. Think about those individuals. I mean, think about, being honest, we don't speak about them. Think about the custodial workers, like that are honestly the unsung heroes of a lot of our schools. I mean, just overall education, do we get our fair wages? No. And we know that education is very top heavy. You know, a lot of the time the administration, they're the ones that are getting paid. And I get it, the weight is different. But when you really boil down to it, most teachers, honestly, we work approximately about 12 to 13 hours a day. A day. Let's be clear, a day. And let's not talk about the coaches that are dropping kids off, picking them up, making sure the kids are fed. Same thing for band directors and whatnot. Are those are even those teachers that teach general ed subjects and contents that have tutoring before or after school, that may have tutoring at 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. just to ensure that they're attaining the lesson at grade level. All of that. And let's not speak about the trauma that we've already discussed. I mean, so when you boil all that down, bro, educators, we're going through it. But many people, they highlight, oh, well, you get summer off. Oh, you get, holidays off. Sometime I be thinking, I trade a summer, working if I had less stress, you know. So I don't think it's fair.
All right. Uh, Derek, welcome, brother. Uh, if
What's
you
going on?
if anybody missed it at the beginning, I'm not going to be talking much because I'm trying to save my voice right now. I got a lot going on in my throat.
Okay.
Pause. Pause. I got a lot going
All
on in
right.
my
All
throat.
right.
So there it is. All right, Derek. Are we getting a fair wage for our work?
Um, Absolutely not. But however, I do feel it's hard to gauge that. You know, as educators, we're putting a lot of work outside of the quote unquote contracted hours. If I could speak more specifically about music educators, I don't know, that's one of my biggest grievances, man. I feel like when you're a high school band director, especially, um, you shouldn't be on the same pay scale as a conventional teacher that literally will come there at the beginning of the day and leave when the bell rings when school is over. I do feel like there should be a new structure to how these teachers get paid. I know they some schools offer stipends for those extra duties and everything, but overall, I don't think it's not that easy to gauge how much we should get paid. Um, it's almost like an athlete. Some athletes get paid differently. Teachers do different work. It's good teachers and bad teachers. Do you want to pay the bad teachers? Do you want to overpay bad teachers? No. So I mean, unless we find a new structure of how to gauge our worth as educators, and I think that might actually give some incentives to some bad teachers. Like bad performance equals lower pay. Good performance equals higher pay. If they could go into a system like that, they may give some more incentive. But as an average, no. We're not paid our wage. We do way too much. Um, like Quan was saying when I first got in here, taking kids home. I got to take kids home after practice every single day. And mind you, I'm talking about I done arrived at the school 6:45 in the morning. I'm dropping kids off all the way to about 8:30 at night, man. Sometimes in the city I don't even live in. Uh, so man, the stuff that we do above and beyond should be compensated, but I mean, this is a profession we chose, man. So
Let me, if I might interject, Julian, I think, I think, I feel you, Derek, but we have to be very, very careful with that slippery slope in regards of incentives as teachers. I'm gonna tell you why. It's because I won't say the parish, but back home I'm from, some of them they operate like that. But what we don't take into the consideration is this: if you have some parents that will allow their students to miss school, like I know some students that literally miss 45 days of school of a school year, but then of course during test time they send their kids to school or benchmarking. You know what I'm saying? They send their kids to school. What about those kids where um, they may not have the best parent support? Those kids take the test as well. Are those kids that are just honestly endeavoring through test anxiety? They're just not great test takers. That don't mean that they're inadequate of learning the lesson or whatnot. They just may not be great test takers. So all of those things could literally affect your livelihood. And in certain areas, it do. You know what I'm saying? Uh because we highlight, these districts, they'd be like, well, we'll give you a $5,000 signing bonus and all of that. But some of that, is that worth it though, in the end? And as we get older, you'll realize, man, sometimes that extra $200 on that check, yeah, that feel good, but it's not worth another 8 hours of your week. I saw somebody, and I'll close with this, literally said, if an hour of your time is worth $50 and you're wasting 6 hours a week, how much money is that in a week? How much money is that in a month? How much money is that in a year? How much money is that over 30 years? You possibly will be a millionaire if you just stop wasting time. And sometimes, not saying we're wasting time on students, but sometimes we go for the quick dollar because it's hard out here for educators. But we have to be honest and mindful of ourselves, as well as continuously investing in ourselves. And honestly, that's one of my goals for this year in 2022. As I invest in the kids, you got to replenish yourself.
I
Uh,
agree.
Derek, you said something interesting. So you believe that there should be a difference in wage between the general teacher versus the band director or music educator?
Absolutely, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I'm a down that hill. Yeah.
Could you and you may have, but just kind of uh, can you
So
go into why that is?
the responsibility is really just that simple. We're not, first of all, we're teaching a skill. I mean, but the content for me is not really the big thing. I think it's what's expected of us. We're expected to put on performances during semesters. We're expected to do these football games. We have inventory to manage, personnel to man. I mean, the responsibility is of a director. We are a director of bands. It's in the title. However, I know most contracts probably say music teacher, if you look at them, but we're a director of bands. We direct things. There are things we have to delegate. Things we are accountable for, and teachers don't. Regular general teachers don't have that responsibility. They're not counting uniforms. Make sure that all the property is still there. At the most, they have a textbook, and nowadays they don't even do textbooks. Everything's online now, so they don't even have that to be responsible for. We have a lot of money and things to be responsible for. Why should we not be compensated for the things that if it was lost, we would be responsible for? So that's my big thing.
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate one more time. Trying to save my dog voice. I'm trying to I'll play devil's advocate. So I know I'm gonna just speak for Texas in my experience. So I know for a fact I agree from the seat of a band director, right? But what also I believe though you have to consider is we're not held accountable for test scores year after year either. We're not held accountable for like, yeah, we may proctor a test, which is cool, but when you've been teaching a content all year and you may have, just say in your class, 12 students who like, bruh, I'm already tested out because remember, you do pre-test, you do benchmark tests, you do standardized tests, you do 9 weeks or 6 weeks tests. By that time the student receives that real state mandated exam, they're like, bro. And then you do a practice test to the practice test, and then you got to do data collection. By that time, you have some students be like, bro, I don't care about this test. So you have some kids that literally go to sleep during a state exam because they've been tested out. That falls on you, bro. So I'm supposed to lose my job because Timmy don't want to take his test. Like when you think about it from that perspective, that's not fair for them either. Just like we know certain band directors, being honest, that choose not to become adjudicated. Should they get money taken out of their check too? Because they don't want to go to the festival, or they don't want to go to the whatever that state mandated adjudication process is. You know what I'm saying? If you don't put a band on the field, will we be wrong to get money taken out of our check? Like I think sometimes we gotta, even though it's not fair, it's like we don't want to open Pandora's box to that because remember, education is big business. So however they want to save, and like you said something, you said they label us as music teachers. The reason why they do it is if they label you as a music teacher, they're only gonna pay you from this time to this time. They're not gonna pay you for the after school process.
All right.
Now I understand, man. So I mean, is the district I came in. I'm from Prince George County, Maryland. I do know we were all required to do adjudication. So I mean, now the district I teach in now, we don't have to do our district adjudication, but we do have to be adjudicated by whatever our music supervisor deems the adjudication is, whatever for that year. But I still think that's our level of SOL. Now we are not, like you said, it's not no individual test scores. That we do have an advantage over that because you can have a student that can't barely play a lick on their horn and will hide behind your best player. So I'm halfway with you. I'm halfway with you.
Halfway. All right. I'm gonna see if she can hear me. Maya, are you there?
I'm here.
There we go. Okay. Um, so are you ready to get in on this topic?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So Maya, are we getting a fair wage for our work?
Um, I'm going to say yeah, only because, and a year ago I wouldn't have said this. I'm gonna say yes, in the same way that I would say a McDonald's worker is getting a fair wage for their work. Because that's what I'm probably wrong. I'm happy to be wrong, but that's what they accept. That's what we accept. And people know as teachers, as good teachers, we aren't going to just collect a check. But you could go in there and collect your check, and I think it's a pretty fair wage. I think those of us who are really passionate about what we do go way, way, way above and beyond, and no way are we getting paid what we're actually doing, if that makes sense. But we go in like they list these are the duties. We could just do those duties and then go about our business, and it'd be fine. Um, it'd be fine. I'd make a fine living. But um, they take advantage of the people that teachers usually are, I think. So, in a sense, yes, but in a sense, no. That's my answer, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, it made sense. It made
Yeah.
perfect sense. All right. All right. Any final thoughts, Derek? Quan?
We still need a raise.
That's a fact.
I mean, in the state of
I mean,
Texas,
so
technically, we get a raise every year.
Still
Hey,
need
I'm
more.
jealous of y'all Texas. Like, yeah, y'all pay scale way different from Virginia. I don't know if you know what we looking like over here.
Oh, I know what y'all looking like. I know.
Yeah,
That's why we ain't going there. You
right.
and they raise the insurance every year too, so it's really not a raise.
feel what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yep.
That's the illusion of options.
Yep.
I can't argue with that. Yeah. But yeah, Derek, I know regionally every pay scale is different. I mean, you think y'all bad, look at North Carolina. So I mean, North Carolina trash. So uh, I personally, and I'm not gonna talk too long, but I just personally believe that if we're gonna have, teacher wages, I think it needs to be equal per, everywhere. I think that whatever if Texas is getting, I think that needs to also work for whatever Virginia is getting or whatever Detroit is getting. Now, I do know the cost of living is different per place, but I don't even think that when it comes to cost of living versus the wage, they even actually factor that out because unfortunately, there are too many teachers who are living paycheck to paycheck or below the poverty line, which, you know, that within itself is a whole nother conversation. But yeah, but maybe we can bring that up on another show. All right, let's move on. Let's go to the next topic. So, first of all, welcome everybody to Secondary Sessions. As soon as you come in, go ahead and smash that like button and go ahead and subscribe to the network and turn on notifications. All right, let's go to our next topic, which is we were talking about this on I think I think you brought it up, Quan, either you or Rick on Talk That Talk, and it made me want to ask this question. Is walking out not valuing students? Is walking out not valuing students? Derek.
Um, I'm gonna say me personally, especially when I first started, I did feel that way. Um, but what Taraji said, I got to put me first. I got, yeah. I I think a lot of teachers get caught up and stuck at a job because of students because they love the students. But I think sometimes if for your mental health, man, sometimes you do got to walk out. You do have to leave. That's what we're referring to. I mean, you do have to leave that place, man. If it's affecting your health mentally or physically, and it's not the environment that's conducive for you to be alive. I mean, man, you got to change the scenery just like with anything else. You know, what somebody said something earlier is, I think I was watching Talk That Talk actually. It says kids everywhere, so you're gonna build that connection with some other kids somewhere else. If you feel like you've done what you could over there, that's all you can do. Let somebody else fresh get in there, get some a fresh mind in there. So
All right.
at this point, I don't think that's the case. It's not. Let me answer the question candidly. Is I don't think walking out is not valuing students. I think walking out is being concerned about yourself.
Bet. Okay. Maya, is walking out not valuing students? Okay. I don't know. She may have stepped away. Quan, we'll go to you then, and then we'll come back when Maya comes back. So Quan, is walking out not valuing students?
No, I wouldn't say it's not valuing students. I think you're valuing yourself. But I pray that you walking out is a valid reason. Like I pray that walking out is just not a having a B fit. You know what I'm saying? I hope it's not that, but I hope you have tangible evidence of why at this particular point that this job is not beneficial anymore. Um, but can I be honest with you? From what I've seen, for all the teachers that walk out, it's not the kids, it's the administrators. I think as teachers and educators, we could deal with the parents, we can deal with the kids. It's bad administration that we honestly walk away from. You know what I'm saying? I know, pending this situation and circumstance, it may be an extreme aspect of a behavior. Maybe a student may be optimal to find and it gets out of line. But I mean, for the most part, you're really walking away from administrators that um, have detached from the classroom, have overall not in tune with what's going on in the temperature of their and culture of their climate, as well as teachers. So I think we walk away from that, not the students.
So you said something interesting. So you don't think that, and this is just a thought that popped in my head, you don't think wage is a reason to walk out?
Said it, you don't think what?
Wage. So the pay is a reason to walk out?
Uh, yes and no. I mean, it depends because not being ugly, like I think Maya said earlier, like when you go to McDonald's, like it's read it and weep, fam. You know what I'm saying? I'm loving it. Like you a brand ambassador at that point. Um, but you know what to expect. I think one thing that gets us most teachers frustrated is when this be your job description, but then they put that tag on it that says other duties maybe perform as needed. And now you watching 6, 7, 8 classes and you like, bro, I can't even teach my own class. And so then after a while, it develops a climate, a culture of they don't value me. My class is a dumping ground. I think that will make you walk away, not so much the wages. But let me say this: having a low wage and on top of that will make a person be like, "This ain't worth it." It's a big difference when you do see a $5,000 stipend. You be like, you know what? Okay, it's a big difference though.
Yeah, that's interesting that you said that, coupling the administrative side plus the wage. So, because I mean, and we see it like right now. We've seen it as it's kind of happening live and direct. So like the question now becomes, can we say that most of the reason why teachers have walked out is because of those two things, or a coupling of all of those things that you mentioned?
I would, I definitely would. I mean, but I think particularly right now, even taking a step further, like with COVID, I think also teachers are truly concerned about their lives. Like, I mean, think about it. Let's be honest. Teachers, we really don't have the best health. Like we're talking. Our lunch, most times when we eat lunch, you're rushing to either go get something or you have to scarf something down quick because you're doing duty. When it comes to watching your class, when you have to just use the bathroom, you have to hold that thing until class is done. You know what I'm saying? It's like we don't have the best health, bro. Like you work from sun up to sundown. So by the time you get home, if you have a family with kids, you asking your family, well, what y'all want to eat? You grab something quick, You know what I'm saying? If your significant other hasn't prepared something, you're gonna scarf that down, try to, spend time with the family, crash, go to sleep to wake up the next day to do it again. And then on Saturday, all you're doing is trying to catch up to your honeydew list, or whatever that may be, so that you can make sure that you can maintain the family. Like Rick said last week for Talk That Talk, band directors and a lot of educators are the most divorced people because we look at this as our calling, but we end up losing because we take it serious. It's several variables in my opinion, that will make a person walk out. One would be time, one would be wage, one definitely would be administrators. Another would be behavior if the behavior is extreme, you know. And then honestly, sometimes you have to walk away because you want to invest and go to higher levels for yourself and attain your goals and dreams. So it's several different factors, man. But it's not devaluing the student.
Um, I want to see if Maya, you back with us? I know we got the camera on. I didn't know if she was back with us. Oh, there we go.
I'm okay. Hello.
I hear you.
Can can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Hear me? Okay, great. I do apologize. Um, I heard out devaluing the student, right? Hello.
You're going in and out. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. You just going in and out. Try to go back out and then come back in. I don't know if she heard me or not. But while we getting her straight, Quan, you did say something that was interesting. Um,
Hello. Hold on.
we got you. You go ahead and try to get it straight. We got you. We'll just continue the conversation while you're getting yourself together. But Quan, you did say something that was interesting, and the thing that was interesting is something that I realized was this year 12 for me. So it's something that I realized maybe about 10 years ago, and we are unfortunately the most divorced. I don't know too many band directors, and I'm only going to come from the band director side of things. I don't know too many band directors with kids or families or multiple kids and or families. Um, and that makes me question, right? Because like going back to the question is walking out not valuing students. If you walk out, are you then making the decision to value yourself? And then what does that look like, right? Because most people will say, well, you didn't care about the kids anyway, or you weren't really quote unquote called to do this like you like to say, Quan. Um, so yeah, it's those kind of things. So what do you think about that? Either one,
Well,
it doesn't have to be Quan.
yeah, you want to go there?
Yeah, I was actually going to. I mean, while you were speaking, that was one of the things I was really thinking about. A lot of the teachers that I know, number one, they're young teachers, and sometimes they just in the classroom and it just hit them, just saying this is not for me. I mean, it wasn't anything wrong. They just didn't enjoy teaching. I know quite a few teachers this year that left just because of that exact reason. Um, Especially when if your education allows you a skill set that you can make so much more money doing something else for less time invested outside of your contracted work hours. Um, so I mean, people just find other things to do, man. They grew up with this fantasy dream that teaching was going to be all this. They were going to be just like their favorite teacher, and found out it wasn't for them. So
I but I guess for me, just the bottom line of it, man, is like that, and that's why I titled it as a calling, because you really got to be called to this, bro. Like you're literally going to sacrifice yourself more than, unfortunately, like, as more this the more than people or an administrator may invest in you, because a principal, at the end of the day, I'm not going to diminish their job, but a principal is like a parent, right? And they have to focus on all of the teachers, all of the content, as well as the students from every aspect. But at the end of the day, they're going through things as well. However, at the end of the day, man, what we go through when you want to invest in yourself, like sometimes you have to cut some things off. And you have to understand it's a difference between, something that's concrete and permanent and something that's just an assignment for that season. So when you realize that, like, I know, like, all of these students here at Worthing, I love with mine, every fiber of my being. But the reality is, I know that this is a stop for a season of my life, that will perpetuate me and push me towards my goals that I feel like God has called me to attain and achieve. But that doesn't mean when I transition from here that I value these students less. So no, I don't look at it from that perspective.
Okay. Uh, let me see. Maya, you good now? I know we still working on it. Okay. I guess we're still working on it, but yeah, man, I just find it very interesting, man. You know, because I think you said it, Derek. Like the young teachers who are coming in, they're kind of like tipping out. But if I can be like mad honest for a second, I don't know how many teachers who are my age who's like, I'm gonna retire doing this. Like when we think about teachers, when we were young, a lot of those teachers died being teachers and or retired. But like there are many of us who are like in our ages, even though I'm the oldest, uh in our ages who are like, I'm not gonna retire doing this. So I don't know if it's a young perception or if um it's just a more recent thing with education and the perception of how people perceive education and the way that education is going, if that makes sense.
I do, but I want to. I don't mean to, mess with your voice box and all that, but I have to ask you this question, Julian, and to Derek. Do you feel that it's easier for some teachers to walk away because becoming a teacher now is so attainable with alternative certification programs and whatnot?
I don't think it's that. I actually think it's the polar opposite.
Mhm.
I honestly believe that it's easier to walk away because, and I just had this conversation with my wife two days ago before my voice was messing up. But I actually think that because social media is so prevalent, and social media is the thing that runs the culture now. Our culture has now been spoken to, and we've been told, not only my generation, our generation, even the younger generation, we've been told that you don't have to stay. You can value your personal livelihood and you can value your health and your well-being, and there are billions of different options outside of just teaching. And so I think that it's truly the opposite, where people see, I have other options besides just teaching. And so they make the decision to say, you know what, I'm going to go and do this thing because I get to value my health, my well-being. I get to value my family and their well-being. And then on top of that, I can still make the same money, and if or more, um doing this new thing that I'm doing. So I think that is, where that comes from. All right. So I hope that answered your question, Quan. Uh and then let me see, Maya, you back yet? We still trying to get her going. But did that answer your question, Quan?
Most definitely, most definitely. I mean, think about it. If a 17-year-old can make $20 million with just TikTok content, I mean, who wouldn't do that? I mean,
I mean,
it's
it's not even just that though. I mean, you can see the large rise in crypto. You can see the large rise in real estate and all of that kind of stuff. You can see the large rise. It's so many different things that can happen, um, that people are doing that they find a lot more valuable, or not, I wouldn't even say valuable, but lucrative and less frustrating than educating or education. So, I think that people just see a lot more options. Try again, Maya. I see you said you were answering me. Try again. Quan, do you hear? Maybe it's just me.
no, I don't hear.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hear you. And you're unmuted. So just keep yelling, and then if we hear you, we'll 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 go ahead and give you some grace. All right. Oh, screaming black. Yeah, I heard a click. There we go. I see your face. I just not getting no audio. I think, yeah, no audio. Thumbs down. Absolutely. No audio.
Sorry.
I don't know what it is. Did you set up the audio when you logged in? Which it probably should be automatic, but I always do a double check.
Still thumbs down.
Yeah, you talking. I don't hear you. And I know you got something valuable to say specifically on this topic, but I'm not hearing you. I mean, my only go down. Are you're probably using your phone. Look at your cam and mic settings on your phone, and just make sure that it's connected to your cam and mic settings. So just click the cam and mic settings and just make sure that everything is set up. And then welcome back, Derek. I know you said you had to get to your iPad. All right. Uh we got to keep rolling though. I know we're trying to get you in here, Maya. If you get straight, I'm gonna let you come back to this particular topic. All right. All right, man. If you're just tuning in, man, this is so weird talking like this. If you're just tuning in, welcome everybody to Secondary Sessions. As soon as you come in, go ahead and make sure you smash that like button, and make sure you subscribe to the Passion Is Network and turn on notifications. All right, I didn't talk too much because now my throat's starting to hurt. All right, pause. All right, here we go. Next topic. Are we playing the Victim Olympics? Are we playing the Victim Olympics? So with all these things that we talk about, wage and how hard it is and the struggles and blah 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 blah, are we playing the Victim Olympics? Quan.
To a degree, we are. We're gonna be fair. To a degree, we are, and I don't think everyone is, but I think to a degree, I think just I gotta watch my mouth on secondary sessions, but I think they're just some piss poor teachers as well, honestly. So, and I think unfortunately, one bad apple spoils the bunch.
Oh no, my. Can you
So, I
guys hear
mean,
me?
you have
On.
we hear you now.
We can hear you now. We can hear you now. Wherever you at, don't move. Stay right there.
Sit next to the modem. Uh, but I do think to answer your question, bro, I think some people have honestly exacerbated uh the teaching field.
The audio being
Um
weird in this,
and
right? That's the stuff. Like, what is happening?
and so at the end of the day, I think that many of them have pushed the envelope, but the ones that's really working, teaching, busting their butts, like to get the product that they want. I think we're doing less complaining than many of the ones that are pushing that narrative publicly. So I'll leave it at that. We, we can, so because we did pick this profession.
Man, first of all, I was gonna call on Maya next. We got the audio straight, and all of a sudden she left. What happened? What happened, Maya? Where'd you go? You were next. You were the next person I was calling on, and we had your audio at the right moment. Oh, there she go. Let me see. All right, hopefully she get back in. All right, Maya, you ready? You good? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hopefully she can hear.
I hear something in the background.
I heard something going off too, man. I didn't know if that was you or was that Maya, but
Okay.
I mean I heard something. Uh so Maya, if you hear, just say yeah. Dang it. All right, Derek, go ahead, man. Are we playing the Victim Olympics?
Um, I'm gonna say in general, yeah. I think a teacher. I'm talking about general teacher. I ain't talking about just music education. Teacher's favorite pastime is complaining. This is what they do when they get off work is complain to a significant other, to the teacher friends. Um, I think, but people complain, man. So I could be devil's advocate with that. People always gonna find something to complain about. But I could say the last couple of years, especially with this COVID stuff, though, complaints and displeasure at the workplace has been an all-time high. But it's not just in education. I think that's everywhere. Man. I think people are just unhappy with their situation, and they're gonna complain about anything that causes an obstacle for them. So I don't think teachers. I can't say teachers are playing victim Olympics. I think we all are. I mean, just the world right now is playing victim Olympics, man. So, but yeah, we complain a lot. I think we complain a lot, man. We a little bit more than yes, throw a little bit of complaint out there, but every day a whole new thing, anything that's wrong. I mean, sometimes we just gotta tough up, man, and get over it and make something happen. The tough ones survive. The weak, you keep complaining about something, it's gonna make your situation worse. But I think the population as a whole is playing the victim Olympics. It's a worldwide thing.
So, would you both say that we just all need to shut up and dribble?
Me personally, yeah, I do.
And nah, I don't agree with that. Damn that. Damn that. I'm sorry. I
Oh, I just caught the reference to that. That's the LeBron James thing. Oh,
no, 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 no. Nah, that boy is saying basically we should just teach and be quiet. Nah, fam. Because some of those complaints are valid. Like
yeah,
let's be real. All schools, for the most part, we need more resources. We need more manipulatives. Real talk, if certain districts was just mindful of preparation, I think that's the thing. You really only have, you know, we teach quote unquote 8 hours a day, like on paper. But when you arrive to school 2 hours before and you leave 2 hours after, it's about a 12 hour, 12 to 13 hour day. You take some of it home because you possibly have to grade papers. You have to, as a band director, recruit and go visit other schools. We are that's some of my gripe is valid. But on the back end is I chose the profession. Like I'm looking at the rate, the temperature checks for certain districts in the state of Texas that now they allow their teachers to be off on Fridays. And so they give them a Friday prep day with no students. They happy. Like imagine if every Friday, if you had no students and I just got to put in my grades or prep for a performance or do whatever, I'm going to be happy. And also you give those students who are who maybe need remediation or remedial tutorial lessons to come to the school and just get a tutoring lesson. Like some of it is checks and balances, bro. That's all I'm saying. But a lot of these people that are pushing these buttons, have not sat in the classroom possibly in 12 years, man. They don't get it.
Um, there's truth to that. Um, as far as the people who are making the decisions have not been in the classroom for years. Um, I mean, I'm not gonna talk long because, like I said, my throat's starting to hurt. Pause. But I do believe that it's interesting to yes, please. It's interesting that it was I think it was a meme that I saw something to the degree of it's amazing how your administrators or the people who are trying to tell you that it's okay to take a mental break are the same ones who are trying to keep who are giving you the mental issues. So it's really interesting how that is. But I mean, I think it was either you, Quan, or Derek who said it. I mean, we all have complaints on our jobs. So I don't know if that's us playing the victim Olympics or just want some type of I don't want to say fairness. Do I want to say fairness? Equality? I don't know what the best word. Equity? I don't know. But I think that that's kind of what we're looking for and what we're searching for, and I feel like a lot of us aren't getting it. Um, I mean, Quan, you said it. You said it best. There are some districts who are doing certain things that other districts are not. There are some teachers who are burnt out or who were burnt out by week 4 of the first day of the first at the beginning of the school year. And then there are some teachers who are ready to go still to this day. And I don't know if that is because of the differences in what is being given per district or what. So just my thoughts. Now I'm gonna shut up now. But yeah, go ahead, Derek.
Nah, I was gonna say, man. Quan brought up that whole 3 day weekend thing, man. Well, really, I guess it's a planning day, man. Um, I think that'll stop a lot of the complaining, man. You gotta think. I started really trying to put it in my head. If you are working 5 days a week and it's only 7 days in a week, majority of your life you are working for somebody else. When do you ever have a chance to enjoy yourself? You know, and I think that's another thing that complaints coming to. I just shared a video from Curtis Aking talking about some where the weekend go. It felt like I just went to sleep on Friday and woke up midday Monday or something like that, man. So um, I think a lack of rest, a lack of time to ourselves is also adding to this complaint thing right here. Because I've had times where I felt like I was just having a bad day at work because I felt like I rushed out of my own personal time. You get Saturday and Sunday, and the next thing back at it. So yeah, if anybody in here watching that can advocate for 3 day weekends, yeah, that'll do it.
I mean, truly think about it. Friday, you get off work, all right? You sleep. You have Saturday. If you single, married, whatever, you're going to take care of your house. And then Sunday, you got to prep for work.
I'm sorry, bro. I gotta stop you, bro. And the reason why I gotta stop you is because you can't say if you single or married, because I have a lot of single teacher friends who
Mhm.
be out on Saturday, like on some straight. I'm I'm
Mini
having
sleep.
a great time on Saturday.
Yeah.
For me,
Mhm.
I got family, so that is a completely different story for me. It looks different per situation, bro.
Right, right.
So
I feel it.
because Saturday for me is I gotta spend time with the kids. I gotta be here at the house. I gotta like Saturday is different for me, you know. And then on Sunday, because I like my word and I try to make sure I follow the word as much as I can. On the 7th day, I ain't doing no work, but that's really my only day where I'm just kind of like trying to get downtime. And even on then, I still got it. That's still a church day for me. I get up, I go to church, I do the audio at the church, and I come home. I cook. If it's a cooking day for me, then I got to cook breakfast for the family, and then I try to relax
Mhm.
to get ready to do it all over again.
Right.
So, but I had to stop you on that because people Saturdays look a lot different. I know a lot of my teacher friends who be straight clubbing every Saturday. But go ahead, bro.
But no, no, no. So yeah, from that point of view, Doc, nah, I absolutely agree. But regardless if you going and hit the streets or you taking care of the family, it's really one day, bro. It's really one day that you have because on that Sunday, like you said, Julian, if you're a believer, you're up at church or whatnot, and then soon as real talk 3 o'clock hit, you be like, gotta get ready for this good old, good old Monday. So yeah, man, it's some of our complaints are valid. That's all I'm saying.
All right. We got Maya back in here. Come on, Maya. We rooting for you. Maya, can you hear us?
I'm talking right now. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Nothing.
can hear you.
Nothing at
If I had
all.
my if I had my
N-
soundboard on, I would give you the
You can
claps
hear.
right now. We can hear you. Look at God. See, we start talking about God and being a believer, and then here comes Maya.
Oh,
Her voice is being
you can
heard
hear
right
me.
now. Yes,
Praise God.
yes.
Listen.
We can hear you. All right, so so Maya, did you want to tackle the previous topic, or do you just want to go on with the topic
You
that we
know,
have?
if I um
Uh oh.
go with the flow, that's fine.
Oh, you want to keep going with the topics that we have?
Go ahead. What happened? Am I here? Am I?
Yeah, I think you're on a delay though.
I will keep.
We trying to get this thing straight. We are trying because now she was good and now
Perfectly
she
fine.
okay. She so now you in and out now, so we can
Oh,
hear you. And I think you're on like a 5 second delay, maybe 10.
okay. I hear you telling me I'm on a delay.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And
I
if you're
don't really
just now
know
getting that, then
how to approach that.
that's the problem. Are you listening? Are you
Okay.
listening to it on the link that I gave you? Or are you listening to it on YouTube?
I'm listening to it on the link that you gave me.
Okay. All right. Keep it right there. All right. So let me
Okay.
go ahead and ask the question before something happened. Are we playing the Victim
Okay.
Olympics?
Are we playing the victim?
Are we playing the Victim Olympics with all of the complaints and grievances that we have as educators? Are we playing the Victim Olympics?
In my opinion, absolutely not. We should be screaming even louder and shaking even more bars and walking out more and just refusing, which I know is the opposite of what we teach our students, which is like you got to push through, you got to deal, you got to overcome. But there is some stuff that's just absolutely unacceptable, and what they're doing to the teaching profession is unacceptable, in my opinion. I
We
don't know
got
if you can hear any of that.
no.
Okay.
I was about to say we got a whole response from Maya with no issues. I'm so happy that we could get that whole response. I swear man, I should have hooked the soundboard up today. But I am so glad that we got that whole response. As a matter of fact, just because I want to make sure I want to go back and hear your opinion on the last topic because I know that that's something that you can speak very very well about. Is walking out not valuing students?
Walking out has nothing to do with whether I value the student. Walking out has to do with uh, again, unacceptable working conditions. And it's up to the admin to create an environment where we can teach and learn safely as best they can.
So you're in the same mindset of Quan, where a lot of it has to do with structural things and administration, correct?
Yes, in my opinion, yes. Where I was, and my recent experience, I would have I loved my kids, and I would have worked for free. Honestly, if if life could be set up that way that I did that job for free, I would have happily volunteered to do that job because I enjoyed it. But if you're going to create a hostile environment, then I'm not going to stay. I'm not going to not enjoy myself. And I was making all the sacrifices that you guys are just talking about making, but I enjoyed it, so I did it happily.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. So we got both answers from Maya. No messed ups, no mistakes, no clips. Matter of fact, we're just gonna go straight to the next topic because we don't want to lose Maya this time. All right. So if you're just tuning in, welcome everybody to Secondary Sessions. As soon as you come in, go ahead and smash that like button and turn on notifications and go ahead and subscribe to the network on YouTube. All right. We're at our last topic. Here's the last topic. I got to move quick because I got to make sure Maya sticks with us. Are the issues that many teachers face only in low socioeconomic communities? Are the issues that
Ooh.
many teachers face only in low socioeconomic communities? Maya, you go first.
Having taught in very affluent areas and very not affluent areas, I can, oh Lord, I can say that the issue is in both.
Send this
The parent,
this song.
is that is that me? Okay.
No, that was
Um,
Quan.
parents, okay, parents and admin interact differently on the same issues, but no, I think they're in both categories.
Derek?
So,
Um, I mean, there are some issues I think that are only in low socioeconomic areas. But like Maya said, I mean, there's issues everywhere. You're going to find a different issue in the affluent area. I think she mentioned parents. Mind you, I've never taught in an affluent area, so I'm just speaking from speculation. But from my teacher friends who teach in affluent areas, parents are a lot more involved. However, that can be a good and a bad thing. Sometimes they're overreaching
hmm
what they need to do. They don't give you the leeway to teach your content area. They think, oh, you need to teach it the way that I think you should. So those are a whole different set of issues that I'm not going to find in a low socioeconomic area. A lot of times, just to generalize it, the parents are sending their kids to school, expecting them to learn, expecting them to learn. But at the same time, I don't think you'll find gang violence and other community issues like that in the affluent areas that we have to deal with, like mental health. I think that's both. I don't think you're going to miss that because people have poor mental health, whether they're rich or poor. Um, so I think they both have issues, but there's different issues, man. I don't know. It's there's different issues, but I think they're both equally as severe. So you're never going to escape it. You just have to get used to one or the other.
All right. Quan, are the issues that many teachers face only in low socioeconomic communities?
No, 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 no. And honestly, it all depends from the point of view or lens that you're looking through. And so I'll give you a few. I agree with Derek. You may not deal with gang violence, but you deal with culture shock. And what I mean by that is, I know teachers that taught at affluent schools where a lot of the students, their parents were immigrants from like the Middle Eastern countries or whatnot, and their aspect of education or they were like of Nigerian descent, their point of view of education was very hard. So even if, hypothetically speaking, we're going to keep it music related, if they struggled with music, their parents might have been on them hard to where it low key borderline was abusive. It was like, bro, like they just need to practice this week. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be okay. Um, I've also seen where literally certain students who had real mental health or learning disabilities, but they were treated and excoriated because they had those things. And that can be shared in affluent or low socioeconomic. I've also seen where parents' involvement is too invasive, and sometimes in a affluent neighborhood, they expect, well, you work for me, and this is what I expect of you. And then I've taught as well as in low socioeconomic students, where the parents be like, I got to pay for that. This band. So it's like you're going to deal with it, period. But what's the point of view of lens that you're going to, look out through it? Um, Now let's be clear. You may not deal with um what's the word I'm looking for? You may not deal with students, not having an instrument, not having reads and different things like that in the fluid neighborhood, but you may deal with some other things that is on the same line of mental health aspects, of pressure, anxiety, just like, if you're teaching low socioeconomic students. So it just depends.
All right. This is just everybody's opinion, personal opinion. Would What's your opinion on those who are leaving the classroom or who have already left? Do you feel like most of them are leaving low socioeconomic communities or schools that are more affluent areas? Just your opinion. I know we don't have the data on this. What happened to Maya? God dang it! I hurt my voice doing that. What happened to Maya? Anyway, but yeah, just your opinion. What are your thoughts?
Me personally, I do think it's the low socioeconomic areas. And a lot of it's, like what you said, is you got to think about the schools, the situations that they're in, resources, administration is a lot different. And then dealing with student trauma. I mean, it's just, I think it's me personally. I think it's the low socioeconomic areas, man. But I can say I'm only going from my observation. The school I teach at, I mean, it was so many teachers that left this year, like they just straight up left. Actually, today a student came in. They said, this is the worst that came out their mouth today. Said, man, every time I get a favorite teacher, they quit. I said, huh? And the students told me, yeah, their math teacher just quit. Um, but I think some things were getting to her. Um, and the pay is a lot different in these low socioeconomic areas, although there are quote unquote incentives to teach in the areas, man. But I think it's the low social. I think you can get through a lot of other stuff when you're dealing with um, affluent areas. Yes, you're gonna have anxiety and all that stuff, but I think there's a lot more people to confide in and a lot more resources to get you through that little rough hump that you're having in those areas. And they want to keep you. I think they want to keep you more in an affluent area than the teacher turnaround in these low social economic areas are kind of quick. They'll teach it for a year or two, if that, and then gone. So
Quan, what about your thoughts? Once again, these are just opinions, nothing backed by data. I know Quan probably looking up the data right now, but
And and is
yeah.
and is.
But what are your thoughts?
I think it's both. I If we're speaking solely about today with the pandemic, I pulled up and I think as educators, it's important for us to and I know Julian preference this with it's our opinion, but our opinion has to have some factual aspects to it. So I had Googled the Wall Street Journal, and it basically said that around the country, 900,000 teachers have. Trying to put me out. Hold on a second.
Sorry, I was gonna say I'm getting ready to lock the gates in about 15 minutes.
Cool. I'll be out in 10.
All right, no problem.
All right.
Thank you.
Sorry about that, y'all. I'm my bad. I muted. I turned on the camera and didn't mute it.
Yeah, everybody knows that they about to lock the gate in 15 minutes. But go ahead, hurry up.
My line. But overall, they basically said 900 teachers basically quit their job. 900,000 teachers. And that was public school, right? And then 600,000 quit private sectors. So looking at the data on this, it has nothing to do, and it never mentioned socioeconomic status. It overall mentioned the burnout of the pandemic and where education is being turned upside down. It also goes into speak about um, how they don't feel that educators are being considered as humans at this time. We're just being considered babysitters to pamper big business. So if you Google it, you can. This article is in the Wall Street Journal, and it's going to speak about Miss Wilson and the mental strain of what goes on to be a teacher right now. So I think this is going to be awesome. Article to read, but I don't think it's about, being honest, it's not a black and white thing. It's not a socioeconomic status thing. It's about a human thing. People are risking their lives. Like I said before, teachers, we don't eat the best. We're too tired to work out. And some of us may be dealing with borderline or underlying health issues. All of those things are to take into consider. Because at the end of the day, we do know this. Even though I love this school, as long as I've been here with my whole heart. But if something happened to me, they're gonna mourn for about a week or two. But before they put me in the ground, my code for my job will be online. And that's just work life, unfortunately.
Mm. Let me see. Maya, you there? Maya, you there? You went out and came in like two times. We was good before you went out that first time. Dang. All right. But yeah, Quan, I don't disagree with you. But I mean, I think Rick said it. I think Rick
Here.
said, "Oh, you here? You there? You there? Dang it." Uh, I think you're going in and out again. Um, see, you was good. I don't know why you leave out. Um, but I think Rick said it best. Everybody's
And he
gonna be
yeah.
like, everybody's job is like that. So I mean, that's the unfortunate truth. I mean, if I work at McDonald's, they're gonna be the same way. They probably won't even mourn me for a week. They probably mourn me for like 3 days, maybe two. And that position is right up. So I think that on that aspect, I mean, you're absolutely right. But everybody's job is pretty basically like that. Um, Dang man, I want to get Maya in here, but she's in and out. Um, all right, so let's do this before, because Quan got like 3 more minutes before he got a tip. Um, so let me ask you guys this one last question, and then we'll get ready to shut down because I know we've been trying to get Maya together the whole time. Quan got a tip, um, and I can't. And I've been talking way too much. Um, so when it comes to what we do and educators leaving, is it safe to say that COVID is the reason for the big exit from education?
So I'll go before they put me out. I don't think COVID is the main reason. I think COVID exposed education. Like sincerely. I think COVID exposed a lot of things just overall. Um, it exposed the aspects of mental health. It exposed the aspects of, sometimes we are so submerged in our jobs to where we have no other outlets. Um,
Not even
Go ahead, Mike. Damn. All right. So so
Wait.
I don't think, bottom line, I don't think COVID is solely due to COVID, but I think it exposed the discrepancies, honestly, in affluent and low socioeconomic status schools. I also think
I
it exposed. I also think it exposed
anything.
that was outdated. I think teaching, to a degree, in certain methods and pedagogy was outdated. Um, and I think for those that survived the initial wave of COVID that still was in pursuing and practicing education, it forced you to be different. And I think if you stuck with it and you're still sticking with it now, I think you grew as a person. But what's going on now, bro, is just somewhat a disregard for teachers and our wealth and value to the education world. And like Julian and Derek said earlier, now with social media, it's like I don't have to take it. I can make my content and make money. I can, real talk. Think about it, Julian. How many people have decided, I'm gonna start a podcast? I'm gonna dive into other aspects and other avenues so I can have residual income. I'm gonna do forex trading, whatever the case may be. I'm gonna deal with this cryptocurrency and whatnot, and teach people how to develop credit and whatnot. So it's there now. So
Facts. All right. Let's do this. I girl, look, we got to get you straight. So what we'll do is you just stay on. Just stay on. I know Quan got to get out of here, and so what I want to get ready to do is get you guys out of here anyway. And I don't want to talk too much. But we'll chop it up. We'll do whatever we need to do. But the last thing I want to say before we get out of here, I appreciate everybody who was joining us. I know we typically open the call lines, and I know Chuck generally will join us. But because my voice is tripping, we can't get Maya straight. Derek is Derek. But Quan got a tip. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down here. But I want to say on next show, we'll revisit some of these topics before we go into our next topics, because I think that things will be a little bit more organized as far as everybody's situation. So I do want to respect you guys' time, but make sure, guys, that you please that you check out our Talk That Talk merch store. If you don't do that, or if you haven't done that yet, I'm gonna go ahead and put the link inside of the chat, as well as put the link in the description of the show. And then please make sure you use the code Real Talk so you can get 10% off of every single purchase. Quan, before you tip, you got any last words?
see y'all at TMEA this Wednesday.
Yes, and we will be doing Talk That Talk from TMEA. All right, Derek, any final thoughts, any last words, brother?
Nah, man. I mean, I just like the conversation that we keep having. I'll just keep doing it.
All right. Yeah, this was a weird one, but it's all
Yeah.
good. It happens, but we still had the show. We're gonna keep rocking. Until next week, we will see you guys on Wednesday for Talk That Talk. Guys have a great day.
Yes.